Hello people, welcome to another episode of Permaculture made Wheezy with me, Jester. If you watch my last episode, no, the episode before, I said about a problem with my inverter. So this was the culprit. Cheap piece of Chinese rubbish. In fact, when we contacted them to get our money back, they turned around and said, yes, here's your money back, don't bother sending the product back. That tells me that they know this is a piece of junk. If they didn't even want to have it back and test it, they knew they were selling junk. I'll show you a couple of things to prove what sort of junk it is. One, this is things I noticed when I first got it, but I went, okay, should be alright. But these plugs, designed for everything, whether you're in America, Europe, or in the UK. But when you plug something in, one, it's a pain in the arse, and two, look at that. Look how it sits on there. Absolute garbage design. Just the basic design is ridiculous. It's like they didn't have a European plug to test on it, and everything you try and plug in is difficult to plug in. You've got to get it just straight. It's a pain in the arse. So if you've got these sort of plugs, I wouldn't go near them with a barge pole. Absolutely not. And don't get a cheap inverter, because I have a feeling that this might actually have been the cause of my Power 8 workstation frying. A couple of people have said that to me. I think they're right. So at first I was like, no, probably not, and then it fried the next day. So you live and learn. Don't buy a cheap 35 euro inverter. You'll regret it. I've regretted it, but I've learned, and hopefully you'll learn from my mistake. We'll go with an English plug. Try and plug that in. Just doesn't sit on there properly. It's absolute garbage. So this, as well as faulty and not working at all, reading the wrong voltages and everything else, it's gone. Bye bye. They said we can keep it as a spare if we can fix it. No, unfortunately not. I might take it apart and see what's inside. That could be interesting. Have a look what's inside it. Might even be able to use the case for something, you never know. Anyway, other things that I noticed, as I said before, when I first got it, the wires. They are just flimsy, horrible, weigh nothing. These are the wires that came with the new inverter that's just turned up, and that has got to weigh 3 times what that does. Now, spent a bit more money on the inverter now. Would have been nice not to have to. We're not exactly flush with money at the moment, but needs must. Spent all that money on that system, can't have it sitting there doing nothing. So instead of a 35 euro piece of junk, we've got this. Look how much bigger it is. It's solid. The weight in this is, again, 3 times what that weighs. Costs about 120 euros. But it should work a lot better. As you can see, it's got standard French plugs in there, and they just go straight in, no problems. And voila. So rather than a multi-plug, I'll use one of these for me English stuff. Easy enough. Also, it's got USB 2 chargers, so it'll charge much quicker than the other one, which is only USB 1 chargers. And it comes with a remote control for setting it all up. So nice and simple. Anyway, I'm going to go down to the farm in the village later on. I'm going to set this up and test it out. Right, hello, up at the farm now, and as you can see, well, you can't see it, I was steaming, I've got breath, it's cold, wrapped up. Set up the charge controller, the inverter. So there's the new inverter, all set up, screwed to there to keep it nice and stable. And I'm testing it, as you can see, light works, USB charging works, and I'm charging my green cup battery as well. So first thing I notice, other than the much better quality, just feeling, just from the feel of something you can tell a lot of the time that the quality's there. The first thing I notice as I put it on is how quiet it is. The fan only kicks in when it gets over a certain temperature, which means I don't have to listen to it every time it's on. couple of things I've done is a couple of different things than before. One, the old inverter I ran it from here, from these two, which is the 12 volt output from the charge controller. The reason I did that is because that inverter didn't have any safety cutoffs. This one has low temp safety cutoff, it has a low charge cutoff as well, so if the battery gets below a certain level it'll stop charging so you don't completely discharge and damage your battery. So that's good news there. So that is now directly connected to the battery as was recommended by the manufacturer. These two here I can still use for 12 volt connections, so my plan is to put a bus bar up here that I can connect 12 volt stuff to. Something nice and simple, so I can get like the 12 volt pump that I should be getting and stuff like that. So the other thing is the earth. I've set up the earth here. What I've done is I've put a bolt through there, and this wire, because this is the earth that came with it on this little crocodile clip, so I can unclip it and move it if it needs to, and I can collect other earths when I put the 12 volt system in. They can be connected here as well. So that goes out here through that tiny little hole there, and I have put it on this metal T-post. It's a fence post basically. Here comes out, I've screwed it on there. I got my drill out with a wire brush, I took the paint down so there's a really good contact. So that's driven in about 12 inches into the ground, so it's well and truly earthed. What I'm probably going to do as well is drill a hole in the side of my solar panel and connect that to the earth as well, because if we do get a lightning strike or something, it might just save that. So that's going to be earthed as well. I have a heavier earth cable on than that. In fact, the cable that's on there at the moment I will change out for something heavier duty when I can find some wire. I think I've got some wire up the house, I could change it, but this is just temporary. Should be fine though. It's not much thinner than the stuff that's actually coming off it. Anyway, that's about it on the solar setup now. Hopefully this will last. I've learned a lesson there. Don't buy cheap Chinese inverters. They're just not worth the savings. Yes, that one's going on 4 times the price, 3-4 times the price, but I feel a bit more confident that things aren't going to fry. As I say, I think the Power 8 workstation was fried because of that. I don't know whether I've already shown you, but I have got a charger to replace the box. It's just a small charger from the same company. Voila, and that clips onto the battery. That's it. So it's a small charger, and it takes quite a bit longer. I did a test on a battery I've got at home that I use on the torch thing. It does take a lot longer to charge, but you know, that's just the case. That's just what life's like. You have to suck it up sometimes, don't you? So there you go. If I'm going to plug any English stuff in, I can use that. The good thing about these is I can put it in that one, I can put it in up either way. So if the plugs, you know, if you need clearance, you can put it in either way up, which is good. I think that's it. So I'm going to have a wander around, see if there's any work I can get on with around here, and I'll catch you in a bit. Well, the rain doesn't seem to be letting off, so I thought I'd quickly show you before I call it quits. Giving up today, it's just so soggy, it's ridiculous. I was going to show you that's the charger that I was saying that I got to replace the Power 8 workshop. Yeah, I haven't got all the other singing and dancing parts of the workshop now. I can't use the pillar drill or the bench saw and stuff like that, but I've still got the power tools. I can still charge the batteries up. So there you go, and as you can see, my camera's fully charged now, so I can put that away. I'm just going to wrap up now and call it a day. Weather forecast for tomorrow is much better, so I'll come down then, I'll do a bit more clearing, try and figure out what I'm going to do with all these piles of branches and stuff. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to say goodbye now. If you like what you've seen, hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Help our channel out quite a lot that way. Alright, thank you very much. Whatever you're doing, have a good weekend. Cheers everybody.